Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and for all the ladies who are looking, have a very nice Women's International Day, and we hope your partners buy you lots of flowers and chocolate, maybe. What we've been invited to do is really just to give you an idea of our journey in terms of the processes that we put together and how we actually get to our product, which is called Helios Volt. So our journey began 2 years ago when we were looking at on-site renewable energy generation. And why on-site renewable energy generation? Because what we wanted to do was focus the power to where the power can be given to its better purpose. And that would be in terms of not putting it into the grid, but using it in the buildings where the energy is used in terms of the canopies that we put in, and also the forward push for the EV sector. Because one of the things that we found out was many of the problems that pushing EV charging out was actually getting the capacity from the grid. And our product will actually change that particular thing. So first thing, we looked at the power itself. How do we get the best from the canopy that we are going to build and produce? That was pretty much a no-brainer. We decided to use bifacial PV for one simple reason, that we can take the energy from the top cell and everything that comes through that cell hits the ground and bounces off to go to space. We can collect that energy as well. And that can be anything up to 25% more from the original top cell energy that's going through. Now, fantastic, but how do you deliver that power? And where we were trying to get away from, and Neil's covered, it was actually using something rather than greenfield sites, so that we could actually save that for last resort, and that's my firm belief. So we looked at one area which was lots of space, and that was car parking. And believe it or not, there are 20,000 car parks in the UK with huge space, and fitting our product on there, we can get anything from 126 kilowatts in the small sector, right up to 35 megawatt. And that's a lot. Adding them all up, we were getting 7 gigawatt of installed PV. Now, Tom's also mentioned that his turnaround in terms of energy from the Dogger Bank is about 3.6, but his energy will go all day long as the wind's blowing. Ours isn't. We're stuck with 8 hours a day. So in reality, it's still a very, very good tool to use in what we're trying to do, which is reduce grid from whatever low carbon gas or any other new technologies that actually come around. So the Helios Volt, which we're going to show, green one, yeah. Is it the white one? There we are. Sorry about that.
Future of parking and your fast track to a net zero future. Private wire on-site renewable electricity generation. New revenue streams from electric vehicle charging. Advertising and promotional opportunities. Improved biodiversity and local air quality. e-mobility transition is set to speed up over the next decade. Car manufacturers are committed to all-electric production lines, and giga-sized battery manufacturing facilities are being funded, ready to supply this new propulsion source for the automotive industry. Renewable power generation is the key component to this whole transition. Without it, we simply can't lay claim to zero emissions and clean up local air quality. Helios Volt has been developed to produce large amounts of this freely available resource, using a unique modular design which reduces urban environmental impacts by utilizing the space above these already developed assets without the need for major construction works or destruction of natural habitats. Take your first step.
So there we have it. That is Helios Volt now. One of the main advantages of the Helios Volt is an actual fact that we looked at how do we reduce the time on site, because car parks are very dynamic areas. You can only take a small chunk of it because people still need to park their cars somewhere on site. So what we thought we would do was design a modular structure that can be manufactured in the factory. And that includes the bolts themselves, which basically are a frame that holds 4 PV panels, bifacial PV panels, and that will come to the site and craned on top of the structure. Now, this actually reduces 70% of construction time on site, which is a very important factor in getting that car park back on what it should be doing, which is looking after people's parking interests. The other thing was that if we can reduce the Scope 3 emissions, then it's even better for the environment. And the business case, through a number of factors, the bifacial PV, the modular design and the reduced construction, actually pushed the business case for the asset owner into double-digit IRRs and ×3 NPVs, which make it a very, very good opportunity for the guy who's investing. And it's keeping the payback around about 8 years, which means then that on a 30-year life cycle for the PV panel itself, because we're using double glass, which are a lot better in terms of the durability. Now, this is where the end of our journey is. Where do we locate? Where can we get good skill sets? Where can we get people who know how to work hard and have a track record? Well, of course, you can hear by my accent that, yeah, he's a Geordie, but the business is based in Kent. We've been there for quite some time, even though CrowdHouse Energy in this concept is only a few years old. And to be honest, we've had a great deal of help from a lot of good people down the south. But since we came here, we've never had anything that's been really as enthusiastic, and I kind of coined the word deliriously enthusiastic, as what we have here in Newcastle. So I'm more than happy to confirm that the managing director has said 100% it's going to be Newcastle. So congratulations to everybody here who's done this, and you've worked really hard on it, especially you, David. You pointed us in very good directions with some excellent people, and that is where Helios Volt will be manufactured. And again, I was speaking with Neil. There's work that we can do together. So, you know, you get into this place and you never know where you're going to